What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I just don't know, everybody. I just don't know. I got attacked by some dude out here in between episodes, and I murdered him real fast because I didn't think it was much of a risk. But we're chilling. We're north of Zomzoms. We were right over here at the end of the last episode. I figure we'll probably scavenge a little bit more right now because I do want to be prepared if we end up going into Camp Grayling. But anyways, the point of my story is that I took a nap in between episodes. Like, I took like this little siesta in the middle of the afternoon, and I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. You know how like sometimes you lay down on the couch and you know full well that this is a terrible idea. Like, you know you're gonna black out and you like still have stuff to do for the day, and yet the next thing you know you're like sitting on the couch and like your cat or your dog has now joined you, and it's just like that relaxing feeling of like having fluffy things all around you. It's almost insurmountable. That's half the reason that I have trouble getting up most days. The cat sleeps. Both of the cats just like, I don't know, it's because I don't struggle. Cats don't like strugglers. So if you've never owned a cat before, like, cats will sleep on the bed with you, but if you're a fidgety person that moves around a lot in your sleep, cats don't like you. They'll be like, and they won't sleep next to you as much as they might normally. We don't have enough moves to craft that, so I don't even know why I'm wasting my time on it. There we go. The player's thirsty. He's so thirsty. Let's see here. We'll go with, oh, I gotta make my lockpick. Lockpick. Alright, so anyways, I'm not a fidgety person when I sleep. Like, when I sleep, I just kind of like clunk out and I stay in the same position for the rest of the night. And so the cats love that, and so they build like these little, I don't know, kitty civilizations all around the bed during the middle of the night. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm essentially like part of a cat pile. It's very, very difficult to wake up when you're part of a cat pile. It's a very comfortable thing to be part of. I can see why kittens like it so much. Have you ever seen kittens or puppies? They sleep in big piles. It's relaxing. It's relaxing. It's really relaxing. If they could make like some kind of pill that simulates that feeling right there, the feeling of being in a big pile of puppies and or kittens, I mean, I can take them both. I like that puppy smell. You guys know that new puppy smell? It's kind of like new car smell, but for a dog. Although I've had some puppies that really stunk, but most of them have that, like, I don't know, it's like that warm, sweet baby smell. I don't even know what to call it. Oh, hello here. Ooh, that's in pretty good shape too. Okay. Alright, let's go for it. Yeah. I'm alright with this. We got ourselves a shopping cart, and it's way better than the travois. I mean, it's almost kind of worth it to bring the travois with us. Oh, it's about to break anyways. Forget that thing then. I don't love it or its family. It can go wherever it wants to. Not my problem anymore. Back to the ground with you, collection of sticks hastily lashed together. Alright, so we got that right there, and the sleeping bag, and so now we've got some serious carrying capacity for quite some time. You can repair this, by the way, if you have yourself the mechanical skill. You can disassemble a shopping cart and then reassemble it from the constituent parts, but it's a lot of stuff for just the mechanical skill. There are reasons to take the mechanical skill, and storage is one of them. Like, if you are always full up, I would say just to take mechanical, because you can make your own travois for the in-between periods, and then you can find parts to shopping carts that you can just endlessly reassemble if you want. And so it's worth it. It's worth it. Mechanic's pretty good, but we didn't take it on this run, so I'm happy with what I have right now. I'm really, really content. But yeah, they should figure out some kind of pill that makes you feel like you're just in a pile of puppies. That would be great, although that might be a terrible plan for those of us that would hastily abuse such amazing technologies. I'd be like, really? It's a kitty pill? Oh, that sounds pretty awesome. That doesn't sound vindictive or addictive at all. See, we got to make sure it's not addictive. All right, Nerd Castle, we got to get on this thing. We're going into the pharmaceutical industry together. Operation Puppy Pill is a go. Yeah, puppies have that like warm smell. It's kind of like babies. They don't smell bad until they like shit their diapers or whatever. Like, babies always have that weird sort of like sweet smell too. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that as you get older, you start to be around more and more babies just by nature of the fact that like everybody in your family is having kids. It gets more and more common the older I get too. Like, when I was like 18, very few of my friends had kids. There were the people that got married like the week after high school got out and just like popped out a kid real fast. But much beyond that, I think it was, well, actually, I know, it was kind of like there was two big bursts, I think, of people having kids after high school. So basically, there were like the first years, the people that just like married their high school sweetheart or whatever and had a kid like 6 months after, like right after they graduated. And I know quite a few people that fell into that camp, although not quite so many. I don't know if I could do that, though. I mean, that's just in terms of like my own life. I don't think I could manage a little human life. Like, I have tremendous respect for people that can do it. Like, I would never be one of those people that's just like, I hate kids. People with kids are the worst, and just like rant about it. Because like, I have some friends that are like really jaded about it, where like they don't have kids, but their friends have kids. And so their friends fall off, like, you know, they just aren't around anymore because they got to take care of this. This is a human being, and you've got to take care of it. Otherwise, it turns into like Hannibal Lecter. And that's a real, like, someday if your kid turns into a serial killer, people are going to look at you funny, like it's your fault. And you'd be like, well, see, I could have, see, it was one party away. He was one party away. My child became Hannibal Lecter because I went to that one New Year's party in 2011. And, you know, you always regret it forever or something. But anyways, I'm not one of those people. I have respect for people that can raise a child. It's just like, I don't think I could. Don't think I could. It's like one of those weird questions I start to ask myself as I get older. And be like, do I really want to have kids? I don't know. I think I could be happy just like not having kids and just kind of like floating. Then again, maybe some biological clock to like reproduce will go off at some point, and then it'll like blindside me, be like, I need a child now. Although I've always thought that that was more of like a female thing. Have you ever dated a girl who was baby crazy? Oh man, it's terrifying. You don't know what that girl's up to. Like I dated a girl one time where we hadn't been dating for super long. We were just kind of like, I don't know. I was treating it kind of just like as one of those college relationships or whatever. You know, like your early 20s. Like you're not really looking to settle down or anything yet. Like if it happens, it happens. But you're more like just like playing the field or whatever. And like I dated a girl who was like super baby crazy, like stupid baby crazy. Like she was like, I want to have a baby now. And like she had me scared. She had me up in the bathroom like counting birth control pills and stuff, just being like, is she taking these? I got nervous. I got real nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lack of trust. I had a real lack of trust. She would go off about it sometimes. Luckily, I'm not dating her anymore, so it's not even an issue. But you know, still kind of a terrifying thing for a 23-year-old to not be sure if this girl's gonna step over the line and do something crazy, and you just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, if she had, I guess you just like kind of go with it. I mean, that's that, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to blame the kid for something she did, but still, I will say it was a very, very uncomfortable situation. Her biological clock was going off loud, and there wasn't any snooze button. I mean, there was kind of a snooze button, but it wasn't really a snooze button. It was more just like a let's stall for time. Oh, we still have gastroenteritis. That's unfortunate. I was hoping that would go away by now. Apparently, our horrible case of diarrhea has not gone away. This backpack, I think we can still put stuff into it, even though it's inside of here. I think so. Technically, this space should not be lost, I think. Yeah, this space actually is still equitable. Like, we can still use it. I don't know what I'm going to put in there. In fact, I may get rid of the first aid kit and just use this as a first aid kit from now on. I'm going to take the... Yeah, let me take those. I'm going to take my antibiotics right now. This is going to be my new med kit, my Hyapoopy med kit. That seems a little bit grimdark. That seems a little bit grimdark, a child's med kit. Do they even have those? When I was a little kid, I think I actually would have loved stuff like that because I always liked the medic. When I would watch like military shows or like other stuff, I always liked the medic. I always thought that he was like the coolest because he went onto the battlefield with like no weapon and no nothing else, and his job was just like to hustle. From one of my, I have a lot of friends who were deployed overseas. I never did. I thought about it when I got out. I've talked about this before, I think, where I thought about it after high school about going to the military, but I wasn't sure that I was like mature enough to handle the responsibility of being like given a firearm and like being told to just act responsibly. I wasn't quite sure that I could handle that, and then I had like a long history of just like not doing well with authority. I got like kicked out of school a lot. I'm just not, I never did well when I was younger with authority figures. I've grown out of that a little bit better. Like I can respect like hierarchies now, and I understand why they exist, but back in the day I was kind of like a little punk ass, and so I felt like I'd do more damage than harm if I went into the service. I didn't feel like I was mature enough to be that guy. That's like far and away, honestly, the real reason that I didn't. I didn't feel like I was mature enough. So anyways, I have a bunch of friends that are deployed though, and from their stories I find that like the medic is like that really respected dude too. Like nobody, you don't want the medic to be bad. Like you don't want the medic to be mad at you. That's a horrible, horrible position to be in. Just like I'm not even a military guy, but I would just figure, you know, the guy that's responsible for keeping you alive if something goes wrong, probably don't want him to be like, oh, that guy's an asshole. You know, you probably don't want him to be angry with you in any respect. It seems like that would just be a recipe for something to go real wrong real fast. We're going to be carrying around some stuff right here. And we got a Corn-a-Cola bottle. Cool. So some corny goodness up inside of our cart here, up in yeah. And so let's take a look around. I don't know how I transitioned from babies to military service. Like, how did that even happen? Like, what? How does that even occur? Like, sometimes I watch an episode that I recorded previously, and I try and walk my way back through it, just like figuring out where I got this diatribe from, or like what I saw on the screen that made me talk about the individual thing that happened. And half the time I can't even find it. I have no clue why I jumped ship on one topic and moved to another. It's the ADD is real. I had like adult onset though. I don't know what it was because I was super focused as a child. Always was. Let's see. Oh, that crowbar is terrible. That's basically just like a hunk of metal at this point. Thing's pretty worn down. I guess I can bring this along with me. We have room for it right now. It's not something I really want to carry around with me. Actually, the medkit boxes are worth a lot of money too. I don't know if everybody knew that, but a perfect medkit box is worth like $30, I think. So if you can find one with like 95%, you can make a decent amount of money off something that doesn't take up a huge amount of space, or something that you can just stack other stuff inside and then sell them as two things simultaneously. I used to stack assorted small parts because they're worth $5 a stack, but it's not worth it. Don't do it. It's alright, but it's not that great. I feel kind of nervous about this forest right here. If I didn't have myopia, I'd feel better about it, but we're out like, we are way out in the middle of like Dogman territory right now, and seriously, you really, really don't want to be like dangling your goodie bits out here unnecessarily, so I may head back towards the ATN. However, it looks like it paid off briefly. There's a multi-tool, which is worth a considerable amount of cash. Cool. Alright, let's bounce. I don't see anything else around here that's going to attempt to murder me. So maybe, I've never actually gone to the western edge of the map. Maybe we'll do that as an adventure. I've never gone out there. I have no clue what's out on the western edge of the map, so I figure we can get started, right? I bet that'll work out. We'll probably find something cool. Never been out that way, so in the interest of doing something new while we're just... Actually, I don't want to use that sleeping bag. I'm going to use... I hate polyester sleeping bags. It's got flannel. I like the flannel on the inside. I love flannel sleeping bags, but the polyester, I don't know. I hate it when they got the polyester interior, like... where the inside of it is polyester as well as the outside. It feels sticky on me, and I sweat a lot. I'm a sweater. It's what I do in life. I'm a sweaty man. It's just something that I've always been a sweaty dude. I can't help it. It's a predisposition. I don't know if it's genetic or what, but So anything that like sticks to me or makes me feel like I'm sticky, it's just not okay for me. Not okay for me. I mean, I guess it's probably, I don't know if it's like, so are sweat glands determined by your like, I'll have to ask the biologist here. Would your propensity for sweating be determined by your heritage or by your environment? It's kind of like nature versus nurture, but of like armpit sweat. And so anyways, I grew up in a place where it's like 120 degrees routinely, and people just like hide in their house during the summer and never go outside because it's just too hot. Well, you'll go outside if there's a swimming pool, a creek, or a lake involved. But if those aren't involved, we're not going outside. Sorry. We're staying indoors. So... basically, you huddle underneath the air conditioner and you hope to God it doesn't go out. Oh my God, like we had our air conditioner go out one summer, and it took, I think he was booked because when the air conditioner goes out, that's when people call, obviously. And so when do you use your air conditioner? The middle, oh man, I accidentally misclicked. The middle of summer is when people use their air conditioner, and so it's more likely that more people are going to have problems with their air conditioners in the middle of summer. Hey, another Haya poopy. That one's in shit shape though, so we're not going to take it. Got death caps, we got shirts, we got pants. I'll take the pants. We're like not that far out from the ATN enclave. I mean, I can still run this stuff back and drop it off. We'll make a little bit of cash. But for right now, we still haven't filled out the backpack or the first aid kit. We still haven't done a number of things, and so I'd like to get more of the map cleared out. I wish the game gave you a percentile. What is that right there? Is that the... oh, never mind. I know what this is. This is that carnival. The Cannibal Carnival or whatever it is. The thing that looks like it was ripped straight out of a Rob Zombie, like, Grindhouse film. It's bad. It's ugly over there. Be ready. No good thing is going to happen there if you end up stopping by, so usually I just skip it. I may give it a go in this playthrough, though, just because I've done it before, and I think I remember how to do it right. There's like a right way and a wrong way to do it, if I remember correctly. Or I could be thinking about something else. I don't know. I think that... oh, hey, a Yukon backpack. Be in good shape, Yukon backpack. Are you in good shape right now? You're in decent enough shape. Like, you're in manageable shape. A sled right here. One of my big regrets is that you can't put a sled inside your cart just in case like it breaks later on down the line. That's always one of the big things that just bugs me. Anyways, we'll drop... let's start like, I'm going to put that in the first aid kit. That leaves it, if I rotate it this way, that leaves it with room right there so we can sell that for like $100. Hey, we got a water bottle that's full up, so... I will more than likely... let's just ditch the empty right there. Yeah, just litter like crazy. It's the apocalypse. Nobody cares about littering in the apocalypse. And then what we'll do right now is I'm going to tear up some of this foil so that we just have stacks of foil sitting around. I'm not going to make a bow or anything like that, but I'd love to find a gun, in all honesty. I just want to have a lot of foil. That's all. Having a ton of foil. I want to have foil like an algebra class. First outer, inner last, kids. First outer, inner last. That's how you remember. Actually, I just kind of learned by... with math, I never used little acronyms and things like that to learn it. I just kind of like learned how to do it. To be Frank right there. I mean, I've never been Frank before, but I figure I could be Frank for a little while. He doesn't seem too upset about it, so why should I be? Anyways, back to the subject at hand. I never used any of those weird little acronyms in math classes. I just sort of like, I don't know. I'm a grinder when it comes to math classes. I really am. Like, I kind of just sit there and I knuckle down and I just study nonstop to make it happen. I brute force my way through because that's the only way I really know how to succeed in a math class. I don't know. If you have a good tutor, you can kind of half-ass a math class, but if you've got a bad tutor, then you're done for. If you don't have a tutor, you have a bad tutor. That's basically, you're just going to have to like sit there and just be miserable for an entire semester. I enjoyed my calculus class. I hated pre-calculus. Pre-calculus was the worst. I didn't enjoy pre-calculus at all, but I had a really, really bad teacher in pre-calculus, whereas my calculus class was fine. I had a teacher named Sunil Tiwari. He's a nice man, really nice guy. He'd actually let you, like, come over to his house. Oh, shit. Okay, so let's, for right now, there's the real likelihood that we're going to get run up on by this dog man, assuming that he saw us on his in-between turns. Let's make sure everything's okay for us to engage with him. Just in case it goes down. It did not. It did not go down. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. I'm perfectly fine with the things that I'm terrified of happening not happening. If I can avoid getting eaten by a dog-faced killer, that's what I would prefer. That sounds great. Like, I don't think there's anybody that would color in that bubble like, would you A, like to be eaten by a dog man, B, prefer to live happily and in relative prosperity, or C, be scratched to death by a huge dog man? Neither of those sounding too attractive at the moment. Both of those seeming like really, really bad short-term decisions just to go along with. I am parched at the moment, and because I am parched, we shall stop off for right now and just eat a ton of berries, but leave the twigs alone. The twigs, they aren't happy when we drink them. They don't accept it. They don't really appreciate it like they should. Got a dog over here. He's not going to attack us, I don't think. The dogs actually seem to show decent discretion when it comes to engaging in combat. By and large, that's been my experience with them anyways. The dogs seem to be a little bit smarter about it. I'm just going to throw down all of my stuff right now. And we'll just get bouncing. I mean, I just kind of want to get to sleep so we can get back to the ATN as fast as possible, so it's not something that, you know, is on the back burner for right now. Oh, good, it's going to rain. Every day it will rain. I like that song. I don't know. That's a good song. That's a good song for date night. I'm letting you know right now. That's the jam right there. And there's that other song by Marion or whatever the hell his name is that has, it's got that, it's just like a normal beat, but every now and again it's just got like, I don't know, it's that Japanese stringed instrument. I don't know what it's called, but it goes like every bar. I don't know. That song's pretty good too. There are a number, everybody should have like a Barry White like thing on your iPod for just that situation. I call it like my date night survival kit, just in case. Just in case. You never know when a little bit of ambiance is going to help you just kind of like make the night more successful. You never know. I think I should probably eat some food, right? We're looking a little hungry right now. We're parched, but that'll work for the time being. A little music's good. Everybody likes music, right? There's something to set the mood. Give the night a good tenor. Or a bass, whichever you prefer. Doesn't bother me either or. You can take whichever one you like. It's open to preference. I figure... I think that's his name, Marion or Mario. I don't know. His name was something like that. Let's see here. We got our med kit. I probably get rid of the... Actually, I might hold on. I think these hold more spaces than they take up. So it's actually a good idea to hold on to them. I remember reading that somewhere. Maybe in the comments, maybe on the wiki. I can't recall where I got it. So if you suggested it, thank you, because that's probably where I'm remembering it from. But I'm terrible at giving credit where credit's due, just simply due to the fact that my memory is bad. Very, very bad. And that's why you should not do illicit substances, kids. Because then your brain don't work so good no more. And then people always give you funny looks when you forget things that you're supposed to remember. They get angry at you. It's no fun. So keep your memory intact for as long as possible. And don't go out of your way to damage it. This seems fairly obvious, but for me, it was a life-learned lesson. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that one straight off the bat. I was unaware. Get rid of the pill organizer because I don't care about it. It's not something that I find to be an incredibly useful storage object. It takes up 3 spaces and holds 2 spaces, which is essentially like the worst investment that you can make. We made like not nearly as much money as I expected to make right there. It could be due to the fact that I'm going to drink water out of their supply right now because I can afford to do it. Just keep flinging $5 bills at them until I'm slaked. I might be stocking up too much ammo, too. We have a lot of ammo. This is probably the most ammo I've ever seen in a playthrough, and it's one of the reasons why we're not making a lot of headway when it comes to making money. But we are in a position right now to where essentially we can use any gun that we find proficiently, and we have a huge amount of ammo for a 38 if we can find it. I mean, if we could find a 38, we're in 38 heaven right now. I'll tell you that much. So anyways, I'll probably... Yeah, let's just take them. I mean, we're spending money, but we don't really need it for anything anyways, and you gotta spend money to make money. So I figure at some point we'll probably run up on somebody and kill him. Is this thing about to break? I was gonna say, it's about to break, isn't it? Alright, well, give me the birch bag, just in case. We'll throw that on the cart in the back, so that when our duffel bag breaks... The duffel bag is one of the best items in the game. Like, seriously, it's really stupidly good. The duffel bag is amazingly awesome. So if you get one that's got like 85% durability, you should just keep on it. I think that going west is my next plan. I've never been out west, and I'd like to see what's there, so let's get started. I'm going to try and remember that this was the goal for our playthrough and stick to it. We will be scavenging along the way for guns, ammo, anything else we can get our hands on. But for right now, unless you use your feet to fire your weapon, then it's anything you can get your feet on. But I doubt anybody's really that pedically inclined. I try to do stuff with my feet. I can pick stuff up with my feet, but that's about it. But that's because I used to do it all the time when I was a little kid because I was lazy and I didn't want to like bend over when I cleaned up my room. So I can pick stuff up with my feet. I was pretty good at it. I don't want to brag or nothing, but you know. Got a spacewalk shoe. Sure, you can come. You're only worth $10. I'm gonna set a $20 minimum at this point on things. We haven't gotten a lot of alcohol. Alcohol is always my money maker, and I'd love to be out here with like 5 or 6 bottles of alcohol, but we haven't found a whole lot. It's a great way to get your cash flow started, and it's also weight effective. Like, carrying around alcohol is not difficult. It doesn't take much effort, and so when you do it, you can end up with a huge amount of cash as a reward for relatively very, very few resources. All things considered. I feel like some of these buildings should be lock pickable. Are my lock picks still good, or are they broke again? They're broke again. I was gonna say, and I'm out of moves. Okay, so let's just hang out for a second. We're neighboring a forest, so if I was smart right now, what I would do is I would sit down my cart and just be like, whatever. But never let it be said that I leave an item behind. Never let it be said. I mean, you can say it if you want. I'm not gonna get mad or anything. I'll just be like, that guy said that I left my cart behind. I'm so upset with you right now. That's not the stack that I want. You go away right now, extra parts. I want you right here. And now that we've got you, there we go. So now we're good. I had a guy like freak out on me. Did I talk about this? Oh my god, I had a guy freak out on me the other day. He's a fan of the channel. And like, I guess, I don't know how. I missed his email or something. And just be aware, I figured I would say this in a video so that it's been said. I get like a lot of emails every single day. Like a ton of emails. Like a lot of emails. Like seriously. It's overwhelming a lot of the time. And so I try to schedule like a day once a week where I go through and I try to respond to as many as possible. But with the way the channel's been blowing up, like I've been really, really treading water to stay above. And so anyways, I guess I missed his email or something. I don't know. He sent me this huge email just like losing his mind. And I was like, oh, Jesus. I was like, all right, man, I'm sorry. Like I tried to apologize. What are you going to do though? I mean, I missed it. I probably would have answered it if I had known it was going to be that desperate in a way that like he really like needed help or something. I don't know. Like I have no idea. I feel bad because I have nasal allergies. What the hell? Nose all stuffed up. I hate that. I have allergies. I have the worst hay fever ever. Okay, probably not the worst. I mean, it's pretty bad. It is unpleasant for sure. I want to be away from that dog man right this second before I go any further. We have plenty of supplies to just kind of like clear out the map right now. I'm going to assume that these are forests on the side of me right here. I would strongly suggest that you try not to camp adjacent to forests because it gives you a pretty good ambush point that's not going to go well for you. However, oh, we're weak with thirst? Okay, well, I can handle that right now. Oh, we could go through the night with our cornucola, but I'll save that for when I really need it, like in the middle of a fight or something. Let me drink the water. We'll get ourselves all nice and taken care of. We're shivering right now. It's unfortunate. That's not very good. However, where's my noise trap at? I was going to say, we're out in danger territory. Like, the farther out to the west and the north and the south you get, the worse things get. I don't even know if you can go out into the marshes in the south. I've never attempted it. It seemed really, really dangerous when I went down there, and I've never had a gas mask that actually, like, had enough charges to where I felt good about going on that adventure. Oh, look, that deer. That deer would be a victim right now if it was the early game. I'd be firing arrows, running around like Legolas, sliding down giant Oliphant's backs, counting my kills, trying to get at him just so I could have breakfast right now. But since I'm not, I'm going to be a nice guy. We're going to leave the wilderness fauna alone. What's out to the west? I don't think I've ever actually looked at like a big map of this game. Typically, there's only a couple areas that I really focus on while I play. That's just what I do. I focus on 1 or 2 areas, and then I just do other stuff. There's a lot of like non-essential locations in this game, is the other thing. Is like a lot of the stuff is not... none of the stuff is like readily useful to you, I guess. I'm just clearing out Fog of War right now if you're wondering what I'm doing. Anyways, I'll probably break the episode off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I'm glad that the series is still going. Like, I like this game a lot. It's one of those games that really, really gets under your skin. I'm hoping that if he ends up doing Neo Scavenger 2, which he said was a possibility, that he'll make it like Fallout almost. So he'll make it such that it can have the same open world right here, but I would love the combat. If you, let's say somebody attacks you, I would love for the combat to be sort of like hex-based, like an Eodor or whatever, and you can collect companions and stuff along the way, and you can send them out to go hunting and use like a bunch of like random little... Because this game is like ridiculously single-player, and that's because I think the game is trying to cultivate an atmosphere which feels like you're alone. And so now that they've given you that experience, the next game should focus on surviving with like a bunch of people that you have to take care of. I don't know, they could even incorporate things like the Banner Saga where maybe, you know, your character doesn't die at the end of the game. Spoiler alert. It seems like it's leading into a sequel. The ending, the way that I read it anyways, it very much seems like it's leading into a sequel. Maybe that's just me reading too far into it, but it seemed like there was going to be another game from the way that they described it. But anyways, I would love to see... Honestly, they could leave the game the exact same and just make the combat system better, and they would have a hit on their hands perfectly, because this part of the game right here, the scavenging hexes and running around, is fine. It's just the combat. I think combat has always been the thing with Neo Scavenger that I felt was probably the weakest slice of the pie. Like, it's a good pie, but it's the weakest slice. So I'd love to see something like what Fallout had back in the day, where it's kind of like grid-based combat where you fight and get stuff done. I would love to see a group-based thing with like interactions and kind of reputations you can have with various group members. I figure since he already has the assets created for this game, it wouldn't be too hard to create the map and some of the other stuff aside from writing the storyline, and all the chat would be a pain. I can see that. Having programmed before, I could see making all this stuff interweave with one another would be a huge pain in the ass without an actual development team to make it happen. Bug fixing this game would be a nightmare. But anyways, I'll see y'all later. Hi, do everybody.